Hey guys, and welcome to another of our team breakdowns for SBL Season 13. For this one, we have the Drouin Dittos, coached by Pickles.
Hello.
So, a bit of background here. Pickles is one of the oldest teams in this league. Back with was it the Berwick Bidoofs? Was that what they were called originally?
The the Barrack Bidders, maybe. I
Think it was
think
the
so.
Bidoofs. Yeah, that sounds right.
I
Um,
I was living down that way when I started the league.
yeah, I think that was the name. But we've been through a couple of iterations since then, and he's stuck around for whatever reason he's decided to stick around.
I like the
Uh,
stress.
yes, well, so this is going to be one of our more interesting ones. So Pickles here had the first pick of the entire draft. So a lot of people, it's been in a couple of the recordings already. We've mentioned we expected something like Arceus to go, or Zacian to go in that top slot, Eternatus to go, Mega Lucario, Mega Metagross. Uh, you had pick one, and
Yep.
you decided to pick the tier 3 Vanilluxe. Explain yourself, sir.
uh, Honestly, he's just my favorite Pokemon. That's all the reason I need.
I had a feeling that's where this was going to end up going. I
Yeah.
felt like that's where this was going.
Yep. When I first played, but I'm gonna be honest, the only Pokemon game I fully played through is Gen 5. One of them, I can't remember which it is, Black or White. And when I saw this thing and its derpy little face, I immediately thought, yeah, that's my favorite.
So you just decided that because we have access to it, you've got pick one, you're just taking the big ice cream.
Oh yeah.
Okay. No other specific reason, nothing for what it does or what it wants to do,
Uh,
just because it exists.
I don't remember the specifics, but I do know that it helped carry me through a couple of the gyms in Gen 5, and I think just in general, I'd like an ice type against dragons, so safe than sorry.
Okay, that's fair enough. So obviously with having the first pick, you will have the secondary wheel, but you do have to wait the entire draft to get down. So you've got to wait. Let me double check. You went from pick one all the way to pick 40, so you had a lot of picks in between yourself.
Yeah,
But
it was
for
a lot.
that next pick, you did decide to take Mega Heracross, a tier 2 Mega.
Yep. Heracross, in general, I just kind of like the design, and he seems, from what I've seen, to be a pretty strong mon in general. And the Mega seems like a pretty reliable one.
Yeah, look, I mean, Skill Link is always a great ability. Being able to hit multi hitting moves, always guaranteed to hit 5 times. With your Rock Blast, your Pin Missile, your Bullet Seeds. So you do have some coverage with this thing, and it's decently bulky. Bit slow, I believe, though.
I do believe, yeah, it is fairly slow.
So I guess it's just something you're gonna have to play around.
Yeah, I'll have to figure that out because do I have access to Trick Room? I don't know if I have a mon that has that.
You might. I don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't looked. I'll be honest, I have not looked.
That's fair. I'll workshop that or completely forget about it. I'll see how I go.
That checks out. Uh, okay, so your next one, which you were able to pick up immediately after Heracross because of your secondary wheel, you took your restricted, and I think we can guess sort of where a lot of this team is going to end up coming from the introduction of Vanilluxe. We have Reshiram as your restricted.
Yep, the very cool dragon fire type. I believe it's fire.
Yes,
Yes.
it is fire. Yep.
Yeah. I actually think that's the one that I caught it when I first played it. But in
That
general,
means you're probably playing black version.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, with that one, I just generally enjoyed using them during my fight against uh what's his face? The guy with the eye patch at the end of
Gets us.
Gets this, yeah. Very, very helpful in that fight.
Okay.
And in general, I do have a fire type with Victini, but having a dragon isn't bad, especially if I'm against other dragon types. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're looking at a box art legend, so this thing has got it's going to have your 680 base stat total. Um, y- on the slower end, I guess, with 90 speed. Imagine saying 90 speed is slow, but
Well,
it is kind of in these sort of situations. But you do hit like a truck, and you do have a decent amount of bulk behind you. So
yeah, actually, yeah. Defense and special defense aren't too bad.
I mean, any stat over 100 is usually pretty good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we can move on to your tier one, as you just mentioned before. You did take the victory Pokemon Victini, with
Yeah.
its ability doing absolutely nothing for your team because you are in singles.
Yeah. I kind of forgot about the ability, I'll be honest with you. I just thought fire psychic, yeah, that'll do me.
Well, it's an incredible mon because of its just its access to all the signature moves of Gen 5.
Yeah, actually that's a good point. I think that was one of the reasons.
With V Create, with Bolt Strike, Blue Flare, you can run it physical. You can run it usually I think it's mainly run physical, but I guess you do have access to special moves if you need them.
Yeah, I think let me just check. I think Victini is more physical, isn't it?
I believe it's a mythical, so Victini should be 100 across the board.
Oh, oh yeah, no, yeah, that's true. Okay.
It's just that its move pool itself, I believe, is a majority physical, or its better moves are physical, I should say.
Yeah, from what I can see, yeah. Uh, yeah, in general, I just really like Victini's design and just how it feels to use in the game.
Fair enough.
And really, with the way I've tried to build my team, I just up front just want to go for coverage and not so much leaning into any one type.
No,
Because,
that makes sense. You wanna try and broaden your types as much as you can.
yeah, as far as I can, really, without uh, going a little bit too far into one or the other, or just going strictly with monotypes. Because I remember one of the seasons before we did, I remember getting most of the evolutions and just sticking with them the whole time.
Yes, I do remember that season. That was a few seasons ago now. I remember you did try to draft as many evolutions, I believe including Gmax Eevee.
Yeah, Gmax Eevee, that's right. I think
That
that's the main
was
reason I
that
started
was
that.
yeah, I think that was the joke, and then you took the joke a bit too far.
Yeah, I tend to do that, unfortunately.
You do tend to do that. Okay, so moving on after that, we have another stereotypical Gen 5 team member. We have Excadrill.
Excadrill, honestly, when I used it in game, it was just powerful enough to steamroll a few of the different gyms and battles I went through. So I thought, safe pick, very, very safe pick.
Yeah, I mean, Excadrill is you don't as much as it's very well known for being one of the best Sand Rush users. You're not, from what I can see, you're not really looking to do much of a sand mode at all.
Not
Um,
really, honestly.
but you do have access to Mold Breaker, which is incredibly important.
Oh yeah, no, Mold Breaker is very helpful.
Just being able to ignore abilities and just be like, yeah, no.
Yeah, no more intimidates. Just ignore that entirely.
So from there we move on to your first of your tier fours. You've taken an old friend of mine, your fairy type for your team. You've taken Wigglytuff.
Yeah, I don't really have much of a good thing to say about Wigglytuff. No offense to them, but like, I needed a fairy type, and a lot of my other choices in the higher tiers were already picked. So, I just kind of struggled in that last moment to find a mon. Wigglytuff had fairy, and I thought, yeah, they'll at least be able to do something.
Well, as we've said in multiple across these videos, tier fours, unless they do something very specific very well, they're not really as good to pick in a tier four slot. Wigglytuff has, it's got the bulk behind it. It's decent offensively. It's got a I would actually argue that normal fairy is a good typing.
It is a very good typing.
You get your immunity to ghost, you're immune to dragon,
Resistant to
you're
bug and
no
dark.
longer weak, you're resistant to bug and dark, you don't have your weakness to fighting anymore. You're only dealing with your weaknesses to poison and steel, basically. So it's not too bad with its coverage. I don't think it's that bad of a choice, especially in tier 4.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping I won't have to use them too much, but with their coverage and with their typing and abilities and stuff, I should be okay.
Well, moving on to your next tier 3. Now, this one, it's no longer on the team, but we will talk about you did draft it, and it was a questionable draft, as it always is a questionable draft. You drafted Regigigas.
Yeah, every other one of my T3 picks at that point had been taken, I think. And Regigigas was a last minute choice to just kind of like, I was panicking. Um, but I think if I kept them around, I could have done something interesting with them. But that ability, which is slow start, yeah?
Yes, slow start, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could. I don't know if I'd have them last long enough to make that work.
So yeah, the problem with slow start is that even if you switch him out and it comes back in, the slow start resets. You have to wait those 5 turns
Yeah,
again. And losing half your attack and half your speed is it's
it kind
just
of
not
sucks.
worth it. He's got a good it can be run bulky. It's a decent bulk, I guess, but when the mon is there designed to be like, cool, I'm gonna go nuts and punch someone in the face, and it can't do that for 5 turns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I
But
wanted,
you
yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
if I wanted them on purely just for punching them, I probably should have taken Mel Metal with him. Is Mel Metal T3 or was it
No,
different?
Melmetal was tier 1.
Oh, no, then never mind then.
Yeah, Melmetal was a tier 1. Um, but you did trade it out pretty quickly, I believe. You traded it out before the end of week 1? Yeah, so it was before the
Yeah,
end. So at the end of week 1 to be used for week 2. You traded it into Nidoqueen. In my opinion, a much better pick.
yeah. The well, considering Nidoking was taken as well, it's a safe bet to pick Nidoqueen because it's both the same typing but just slightly different stats, right?
Yes, so Nidoking is the more offensive one, Nidoqueen is the bulkier one.
Yeah, yeah.
In the history of draft leagues, Nidoqueen was picked a bit higher than Nidokings more often, just because the bulk was much easier to use than the offensive Nidoking.
Yeah, survivability is very important in this league because you can just get hit once and then just lose them instantly.
Well, especially since we were in a league with a restricted tier, and the
Oh yeah.
restricteds, if you don't have a plan for that restricted, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Well, I mean, we'll see. Anything's possible.
Anything. Hopefully I get one win this season.
Anything's possible in the SBL. If anybody gets that reference, then they know exactly what I'm talking about. But you did still have a tier 1 spot left. Because you picked the tier 2 mega, you had the ability to pick a second tier 1. And you did pick what is arguable. Actually, I think it was technically. No, it didn't end up being. No, it got pipped at the end. But it was for most of last season and the monotype season, the front runner of the season. You did pick up Meowscarada.
Honestly, I'm surprised Meowscarada didn't get picked a lot earlier. Just in general, one of its moves is just critting constantly, isn't it?
Yes, Flower Trick is a guaranteed crit.
Good lord, that's insane. Mostly picking them was just because I've seen them used last season enough times to know that, yeah, they're a strong choice. I don't know why they weren't taken earlier, although we did have a lot of pretty good picks this time around other than them.
Look, this, like I said, this season it's very high power. There's a lot going on with this season. I do agree. Meowscarada going, what pick did you get Meowscarada? 160?
Oh Lord.
is very surprising to me. But in saying that, with the tier ones that were on offer, by this point we had things like uh all three tier one Tapus had been taken, Melmetal had been taken, we'd had like Dragapult taken, we'd had all of our restricteds were gone by this point. So it makes sense that you want to have something incredibly good left over because you
Yeah.
can't get them all going. But 160 is a surprise to me when it comes to Miascarada.
Yeah, that one was a bit of a surprise. I think one of my other choices was not Egg Slash or Annihilate, but one of the other ones.
Uh,
Maybe Iron Valiant or Rillaboom, which I had last season.
you did have Rillaboom with Steel last season, and it didn't end up going well for you, if we're being perfectly honest.
No, I mean going Steel Terra with a Grass type means still weak to fire, does nothing.
No, but one of the big reasons that we were all saying for you to take it last season was because grassy terrain reduces the damage output from Earthquake, which you didn't realize until about 3 or 4 weeks in when I had to tell you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest to all the viewers. I don't play Pokemon games very much. I'm very ignorant about all this stuff, and I'm still learning.
Ah, look, you do it for fun. That's what matters.
Ex
There's members in this league that are here because, well, everyone in this league enjoys it, as far as I'm aware. No one's told me they don't. I would hope that if they didn't enjoy it, they would tell me and they would, something would change. But we're all here for fun. We're all here. There are some people that are more competitive and do have more time to be competitive for that, and others like yourself who go, "I'm here. I'm going to do what I want to do." There's nothing
Yep.
wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
I will also say, when I was building the team, well, not completely, I partially messed up my Mega choice by picking a T2 instead of a T3. But that's just something I only just remembered. Because I was going to go with the fourth column in the examples thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay, yep.
yeah. So I was going to go that, but I slightly messed up when I picked my Mega, but that's fine. We
For
ignore this.
those who you wouldn't have seen it because I don't think I put it up in that intro video. When we were making the tier lists, Alex or Stealth made a 5 column post about what is the optimal choices when trying to fill your team out with specific megas and using as many or as all of your points, just to give a lot of people ideas when they haven't done a high tier, a high level draft like this, or we have quite a few players who had never done a draft before because they joined up in ones we didn't really have a draft, or they're new to the league. We got 3 new players to the league this season. We had, I believe, 2 it was last season. So we had a quarter of our group that have never done a draft before. So we did make that up, which was good. It was good. It was very easy for people to follow. Thank God for that. Made our
Yep.
jobs a bit easier in the admin. But after Meowscarada, you did pick up your first of 2 Terra Captains. This is your Tier 4 Terra Captain. You took Mantine.
Yes, I did.
So
With
what was the thoughts on Mantine?
honestly, I felt like I needed a water type because waters are the most common type in the
Yes.
game.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Correct.
needed something for that, and I don't think I have a flying type. So, um, when I saw this was water flying, it's a safe pick. Giving its Terra type ground would help with any electric attacks that would hit me for 4 times effective, being 0, if I recall.
Correct.
And poison, I don't remember why I chose poison, but I'm gonna stick with it, even if I cannot remember.
My guess would be just as a guess. Poison might be help to hit fairies. With Terra Blast, it might be something to help with. I would say it gives you a grass resistance in Mantine, even though grass is neutral to Mantine because of flying. But it would give you that access as well. Was there a poison move it got? Maybe that's what you were thinking of using.
Possibly. Let me have a look.
It's just toxic, and then hidden power poison.
Oh, well, that's not much. Ah, well.
But
What?
I will say I do like Terra Ground on this thing. Uh, as I've said before, in a couple of these now, Terra Ground is a very common, very well used Terra type in the SBL. But also, Mantine gets Water Absorb.
Yep.
So you pick a Terra type that is weak to water, bring it in on a water type. Bada bing, bada boom. You're guaranteeing that you're not getting hit with a water type move.
It's very, very good. Uh, Honestly, I'm just really glad I didn't mess up the Terra types there. I
Look,
saw,
that's fair.
yeah, I saw a couple people had chosen ground at that point, if I recall. I thought, everyone's taking ground. Maybe I should go something different. No, I'm glad I didn't.
No, ground is always a good choice in my opinion when it comes to Terra types. Not every mon should run ground. I would argue every mon can very easily run ground, but I wouldn't necessarily everyone should run ground. But it's
Yeah,
never a bad choice.
exactly.
And then we come to your final team member, your tier 3 Terra captain, Electivire.
Yes, I kept misspelling his name in my thing, so I couldn't find him in the team builder.
Don't worry, I misspell half of them all the time, but I'm doing it especially when I'm writing up tiers, I do it very quickly.
Very fair, very fair. With Electivire, I felt like I needed an electric type just because of, like I said, water's fairly common, and there are a couple flying types as well in here, if I recall.
Yes.
Um, yeah, electric type, safe bet. Only one weakness is ground, if I recall,
Yep.
and the other two terra types for him I gave was normal and fighting. I think he's got a couple normal and fighting moves that are pretty okay. Plus, like electric, normal only has one weakness. Fighting, I think it's a couple more, but with normal, it's a safer bet most of the time if nothing has a fighting move.
Yeah, look, if you're looking at Electivire's move pool, fighting is a very common type for it to get. Brick break, cross chop, bulk up, focus punch, hammer arm, all these types of moves. Seismic toss as well, I guess if you wanted, even though it won't do anything to your Terra. Normal is interesting. I wouldn't have thought normal. I would have thought you would have taken something like flying,
I did
if I'm
consider
being
flying.
honest.
Yeah,
Well, one of the main reasons I would look at that is you have your ability Motor Drive, which gives you an electric immunity.
I didn't consider that.
Yeah. So Electivire is also your electric immunity. Other if you can't have Excadrill or Excadrill goes down, you have another electric immunity around. Um, so I thought personally you would have gone when I saw you pick Electivire, I thought, oh well he'll go Terra Flying on this thing. It means it's immune to ground. It has an immunity to electric. You still have to deal with ice and rock, but you know, I think that look, if the Terra types do for you what you want them to do, then that's all that matters. You know.
Considering I didn't consider the ability, I may end up trying to swap out the Terra type. I can still do that, right?
Yeah. So we have the ability to use one of our free agency trades to change one, two, or three of the Terra types on a single Pokemon. So if you do want to change a Terra type on one of your two Terra captains, you use one of your free agency trades, and you can change all three of your Terra types or any number down one, two, or three. Except really you can't change for Electivire, you could only really change two because you can't change its stab Terra type.
Yeah. Yeah, I will probably end up swapping out the normal one then now that you've reminded me of the ability which I forgot about.
Well, that's all right. You'll have a think, see if that's something you decide you want to do, and then we'll sort that out later.
I'll do a little bit of planning.
Yeah, give yourself some time. Um, so that is your team. That is the full squad of 10 from the Drouin Dittos. Any final words on the team? Any final words you wish to say?
Uh I'm very much not a professional at this sort of stuff. I mainly just pick from vibes of just what I enjoyed using when I played the games or what I think is cool. So if I make an optimal choice, it's by accident. Don't worry about it. I'm not planning anything. I am improvising uh like every time.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, thank you for joining me on this one. And we will see you all in the next one.
Have fun.